All right, good morning, everybody. This is Mike Mollahan, host of Mike Drop, and this is just a reaction video. This is not going to be anything more substantial than that. I had a chance to view the school board meeting last night, if you want to call it that, that happened at Middlebury Community Schools. I say if you want to call it that because it only lasted 13 minutes. What's scary to me is the fact that when the school board meeting, the one that I went to advocate for kids, it only lasted 22 minutes, and I'm just kind of curious. This is just a curiosity that I have. Maybe you guys have the same curiosity, but over the past, I mean, look over the course of the summer at the people that have showed up at the school board to actually talk, and ask any of them if any of their questions have been answered to date. And Pam Kaiser's a good example of this because she, in her videos, goes up every single time and says what she needs to say that's new for that week, and then also remind them, like, I haven't heard anything about anything else I brought up, ever. No statements, no comments, no discussion, nothing. And it I would say it shocks me, but it doesn't anymore, considering how lazy the school board is right now and how immature it has been. But let me tell you what it looks like when you're a functioning school board. Okay, last night I attended a school board meeting at the new school that I will be working at next year. The starting time was 6:30 p.m., which gave plenty of time for parents, staff, and the educators themselves, the board members, to go home after school, to get dinner and get their kids situated or whatever they need to do outside of their workday before showing up at the school board meeting. You'll notice it's a distinct comparison between, hey, our school day ended at 3:45, so we're immediately meeting at 4 and we're going to get done in 13 minutes so nobody has time to show up and say anything or make a scene. Or you got one that's planned out. The school board meeting I went to last night lasted 2 hours. And I'm not upset about that. I enjoyed every single minute of it because there was crucial conversation. There was respectful debate amongst the 7 board members that were there. And I heard what it looks like when a real school board steps up to the plate to tackle issues that is affecting their children and the staff that work there. I hate to say this because I'm no longer associated with the school as an employee, but I'm embarrassed for how Middlebury Community Schools board continues to operate. First of all, you've got 5 members on your board and only 3 showed up. Great. It's the summer. We all have different plans. Understandable. However, you have a plethora of issues that you have not addressed. You have actively avoided, and you've put them under the category of, we're not going to respond to that because insert whatever reason we want. You haven't addressed Pam on her MLL stories. You didn't address the lady from the week before about the Prism Club. You sure as get out didn't respond to me at all in any mature manner with my concerns about whether or not you're supporting the staff members, like John Homan. Are they getting the mental health services they need in order to not pull a trigger in a middle school parking lot? You guys haven't said a word on that, like, at all to this date, and we're going into the next school year. This is the next academic school year, and you're still not talking about anything that people are bringing up with genuine concerns. Your own community members, people that go to your schools, people that pay to actually, I mean, how dare you continue to ignore all of the concerns that your people are trying to bring forth to you because you don't want to. And a school board meeting that lasts 13 minutes after months of concerned patrons coming and sharing their concerns and you not saying a single thing about it, you failed. And you continue to fail. And I was really hoping maybe going into this school year, especially after what happened last year, that maybe you'd step up your game a little bit. But instead of that, here's an interesting tidbit that I found out the other day. Our new middle school, your new middle school principal is a former principal at Penn Harrison Madison Middle School. And if you look into the news articles that have been written about this particular individual, you'll find out that Penn Harrison Madison actually covered up a situation where that principal was punched in the face by a student in order to keep the face of the school still looking pretty. Now, I'll take it with a grain of salt because I don't know for sure. It is a news story. However, it wouldn't surprise me considering a previous news story from that same school has an inflation policy where if a kid fails anything, they get at least 50%, even for incomplete work. And that's a policy that was going on, may still be going on, at the Penn Harrison Middle School. This is where our new principal comes from. Oh, and need I remind you, this is where our new superintendent hailed from. And so I'm starting to have concerns like, not only are you ignoring the concerns of your Middlebury people, but now you're bringing in the same problematic issues from a previous school that haven't been addressed either. And I just want to know why. Like, why don't you guys have a conversation with people? Why doesn't the board have comments ever? Like, the board is supposed to listen to the comments in the board meeting, and then they're supposed to, they don't have to reply to it right then and there, even though I believe that they should. They can take that and then disappear for 2 weeks to think about it, and then come back to the table at the next school board meeting and said, you know, I was really processing through this in my heart. I was really thinking about it the other day based on what somebody said the last school board meeting. So as a school board member, I'd like to bring this topic back up. That has never happened in the history of my employment there in over a decade. I can't imagine the previous 65 years to see if people would have that bravery or not either. But how do you get away with being able to listen to people's concerns at a school board meeting, say absolutely nothing during the meeting, and then completely ignore that they ever said anything to begin with 2 weeks ago to go on and pat yourselves on the back about something else? 13 minutes? With all of the stuff that your people are bringing to you that are concerns, fear for their lives, fear for their children's lives, fear for the staff members' lives, and you're done? That's it? 13 minutes, that's what you got? I'm embarrassed. Heavily. Like you're a joke right now. And it's not just me. I'm not the one that's laughing about this from behind the sign. I laugh because it's ridiculous, and I laugh out of sheer panic, which is something that people do when they are scared out of their minds that they can't just do anything but go and look around like what's going to happen next. That's what happens when you end a school year with a person killing themselves in a parking lot and throwing out policy that doesn't even make sense and banning random people that just want to show up and cheer for your kids, like, with no accountability. I wish I had an ability to feel less emotionally charged about this, but you have to understand this came out of 3 places for me. One, it came out of my own personal testimony and my own story of what happened to me to lead me to leave Middlebury Community Schools. 2, what happened to John Homan. And 3, what continues to happen to our children when our school board doesn't address the issues. Those kids are reaching out to me still. I'm still getting high school kids reaching out to me about concerns that they have with their current people. So I'm going to ask you this. I've only been talking 9 minutes. I'll probably talk another 3.5 just to get to the same marker that you got for your school board meeting. And in the ending 3 minutes, I'll go ahead and put out the same or a similar 3-minute questionnaire that I would throw to the school board. How do you get away with ignoring the concerns of your community so efficiently? Question mark. That's number 1. Number 2, how are you able to keep it that way without change? Who are you paying off? Who are you manipulating, gaslighting, pigeonholing, and stereotyping into a corner so that they're too scared to come and upset your status quo? Number 3, what gives you the right to determine whether something is important to your members of your community or not? When someone shows up from your community to the school board meeting to share a concern, your job is to listen and respond. Maybe not right away, but respond, period. Why haven't you? Why do you continue to ignore Pam's questions about the MML support? Why? That's what I want to know. And I would just want to know too, like, what are your plans for the future? Is it going to be more of the same? Are we going to have to set ourselves up for another John Homan story waiting to happen? I don't want that. And it actually scares the crap out of me that it's a likely possibility based on your current lack of support for what has happened last year. It's more likely than not that that's still going to be the case. And that scares me. And hopefully that should scare you into action. But instead, it scares you into reaction and blocking out everybody that has a dissenting opinion so you can sit in your own little fortress of solitude, congratulate yourselves, pat each other on the back, and say that we don't have any comments. No superintendent's report. No, like, why? Jason, why do you have no report? After months of people bringing these concerns, where's the report? You have nothing to report? Are you even doing your job? Seriously, these are questions that I would ask you at the school board if you didn't still have a trespass on me for wanting to show up and cheer for kids and share truth. I don't know that I could have dropped Mike any harder than I've done in this previous 12 minutes. But I don't have any more to say. Because like the school board right now, there isn't much more to say. There's stuff to do. We've said all of our concerns. You have said we're not going to respond to them during a board meeting, but you have yet to respond to them at any future board meetings. Or else, why does Pam keep showing up and asking the same questions? Why do community members keep showing up and sharing the same concerns? Because you haven't addressed them. Get over yourself and do your job. Your kids need it. Your teachers need it. The parents need it. I need it. I don't even work for you guys, but it would give me a peace of heart that the kids are actually in a better place this year than where they were last year. That's all I have to say. And in 13 minutes, I think I've put out a better meeting than whatever board excuse you just laid out from yesterday. So this has been Mike from the Mic Drop. And if you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to tune in. But I love you guys, and we out.